my question is around one of my base fears, which is afraid of being judged. And I hope I don't need to know what blocks me from loving myself more and having more fun and feeling
let's
worthy.
just get right to this, because we want to tell you something. That fear of being judged is valid because you're going to be judged, because you're surrounded by judges. So it's a valid fear because you're going to be judged. You can't walk through a room that people don't observe you and from their perspective form an opinion and a conclusion relative to you. You are the wrong color for some, you're the wrong religion for some, you wear the wrong clothes for some, you have the wrong color of hair for some. In other words, you're going to be judged, and on and on and on and on it goes. The only way that you could ever really get rid of that experience of being judged, in other words, that action journey of being judged, is if you went and lived in a cave where no one would ever see you. And then you'd worry about the cockroach, or then you'd worry. Then you see the little squirrel, and you say, "What are you thinking about?" So you're going to be judged. It's a fact of living in an environment where other eyes will see you. That is your action journey. But you can be judged and care deeply about it, and you can be judged and not give a rip about it. And the difference between that is the difference between living happily ever after and being tortured, because you can never be the right thing for even most of them. You can't even always please your mother, even when you try really, really hard, because she's fickle. Some days she's connected and some days she's not. And on those days she's not connected, give it up. And there are so many of you who tried so hard to please her anyway, and then came away concluding you were a failure because you were incapable of making her feel good. You thought you should be able to. You thought you should be able to stand on your head in enough different ways to make something better for someone, that you could suffer enough to make it better for others. And you cannot, you see. Can't get poor enough to help poor people be prosperous, and you can't get sad enough to help sad people get happy, and you can't get perfect enough to help people who want you to be perfect see that you are perfect, because they are fickle. And we don't mean that unkindly. It's just the way it is. Everyone's looking through their eyes from their perspective, and they are thinking what they're thinking, and they are going to evaluate everything they see. They evaluate the sky, they evaluate the roads, they evaluate everything. It's part of the deciphering process. It's part of the preferring process. It's part of the concluding, molding of the clay process. They're not wrong in doing that. It's natural. Everyone does it. You look around, you conclude, you prefer. It's part of life. It's the action journey. It's okay. It's the way that it is. I can hate it or I can love it. I can embrace it or I can push against it. Living conditional love is really tiring. Conditional love says, I want to feel good, but I can only feel good under these conditions. Unconditional love is freeing. In fact, it's the only place where freedom is. Unconditional love says, I can feel good no matter what the conditions, because I have power of focus.
How do I love myself more? How do I bring myself to feel more worthy and deserving and have more fun? And I already feel much closer to that.
Well, a big piece of it has already fallen into place, because everyone naturally loves themselves. There is nothing more natural than for you to feel the way you feel. And the you we're talking about is that source energy you that came forth lovingly into this experience, who loves what it sees. In other words, the essence of you, the energy of you, the soul or source of you is love. And you train that out of yourself primarily in the way that your first question amplifies, in that you worry about what this one and that one and this one and that one think of you. In other words, if it were not for your awareness that someone is looking at you and disapproving, you would never lose that sense of self-appreciation to begin with. So getting that back into its right place, your natural sense of self-awareness and self-love will just naturally return when you stop beating that other drum. But we want to give something to you so that you can relax and be easy about this. We know you feel big relief already, but don't be concerned if it isn't all gone all at once, because different things are going to happen where different people will activate those old vibrational memories within you, and that's okay. You now know what to do about it. Yes.
Yeah.
How do I love myself? The answer to that is just stop not liking yourself. In other words, love is the natural state of being if you're not pushing against something unwanted. Comparison is an interesting thing because comparison is necessary in order to define preference. But can you feel the difference between looking at all of these things and saying yes to this, and looking at all of these things and saying no, 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 no? We've been talking about energy balancing, and we want you to realize that whatever you give your attention to activates a vibration. So when you look at a buffet of things and you say yes, it activates it. Yes, it activates it. Yes, it activates it. And if you're saying yes to the things that you want, then you've activated things that you want, and you're offering a vibration only about what you want, and source energy is answering that, and now everything's flowing comfortably. But in this universe where it's all about attraction, there's no assertion. There's no exclusion. You can't say no to something and make it go away. When you say no to it, it comes because attention to it asks for it or activates the equivalent within you, which is the same thing as asking for it. So when you look at a buffet of things wanted and unwanted and you say, well, I want that, but I don't want that, you include them both. Well, I want that, but I don't want that. I like this about myself, but I don't like that about myself. Now you've activated all of that. So now instead of a clear, pure, balanced energy, balanced meaning in alignment with source, you're out of balance because you're introducing all this foreign stuff. And the feeling of not liking yourself is introducing a whole bunch of vibrations that don't mesh with who you really are. And so the feeling of not liking yourself or someone else, the feeling of anti-love, is the feeling of introducing vibrations that don't allow a pure connection with the energy that is love. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. I would like to receive for everyone a rampage of appreciation so I can hear it in this new place of self, myself, yourself, every self, from the viewpoint of non-physical.
Here I am in my physical body, and I am now consciously recognizing that I'm an extension of source energy. And understanding what I am now coming to know about source energy, that means I'm pure positive energy, that the essence of me is all wonderful things. And that anytime I feel less than enthusiastic or eager or appreciative or in love of self, it is because I have introduced something else unnatural to the equation. I am so happy that I have a guidance system within me that will point out to me moment by moment, incrementally, any time I may be introducing an energy relative to myself or relative to anything that would keep me from being in balanced vibrational alignment with who I really am. So I'm loving my guidance system. I'm loving my emotions, all of them. I'm loving the ones that feel wonderful, and I'm loving the ones that don't feel so wonderful, because all of them are there to assist me in tweaking myself moment by moment, gently, more and more, subject by subject, into vibrational alignment. I love that there's no race to run about this. I love that I'm an eternal being and that I can take my time in it. And I love that the rewards are instantaneous, that as I reach for something and feel good, I'm right there. And as I reach for something and don't feel so good, I can still reach for the best feeling thought that I have access to, and that's good enough for right now. In fact, that's all I have access to right now. I'm no longer going to ask myself to feel good when I feel bad. Instead, I'm just going to ask myself to feel a little better than I'm feeling, understanding that if I feel really bad and I try to feel a little better and do, and then I still don't feel very good, but I try to feel a little better and do, and I still don't feel all that good, but I try to feel a little better and do, and I still don't feel all that good, but I try to feel a little better and do, and now I'm feeling pretty good, but I'd like to feel better, and I do, and now I'm feeling pretty darn good, but I'd like to feel better, and I do, and now I'm feeling really good, and I'm loving feeling really good, and I can hardly remember not feeling good, but I'm not worried about not feeling good, because I know if I ever don't feel good, I can just try to feel a little better, and I will, and now I'm feeling really, really good, and I'm loving it. And now I notice that person over there is noticing that I'm feeling pretty good. And that person's not very happy about me feeling pretty good and saying, oh, now I don't feel as good as I felt before. But it's all right that I don't feel as good as I felt before, because I know that I can feel as good as I want to feel, and where I am is okay. And I'm not mad at that person or at me because I don't feel so good, because I know that all I have to do is try to feel a little better, and I can feel a little better, and I do. And now I feel utterly free. I'm no longer afraid of not feeling good, because I know how easy it is to move from not feeling very good to feeling a little better. But I'm no longer going to ask the impossible of not feeling good and feeling really good. I'm just going to feel a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better. And I know there's no place that I cannot get to from there. Yes.
Thank you.